Welcome. I'm Ronna Brown of Philanthropy New York, and I'm here today with Paul D. Donato of the Proteus Fund.
Thank you, Ronna. It's great to be here. Looking forward to talking with you.
We are living in a pretty intense political climate right now in this country.
I hear that's true, yes.
How are you changing your strategy or tactics to maximize your impact in this kind of environment?
Well, in some ways, we're not changing our tactics. I mean, one of the many ingredients I think to Proteus's success organization-wide is that we have a clarity of vision about what we're all about. We're about advancing human rights and peace and democracy and justice, and we do it through edgy, cutting-edge grant-making. And in a time like this, that grant-making seems more important, but we don't do less of it, or we don't do it less effectively when we are not in a time like this. And I think moving forward, what will change in terms of a meta strategy or really a feeling about the work is that, and I've talked to my staff about this and we are in agreement, failure is not an option given everything that's on the line right now. Every issue that Proteus has ever cared about, cares about and is working on now, and would ever care about and work on in the future is at serious risk of damage. Those communities, those individuals, those issues are in serious danger. And everybody needs to up their game if we're going to protect advances that have been made to date and actually continue to make more advances now, because I don't think it's strategic to think that all we could do for a certain number of years is play defense and be defensive. If you're clear about the rightness of what it is, you're trying to achieve, and we want to make advances tomorrow and next week and next year, not just do defensive grant making until that somehow seems to be no longer needed.
For folks who don't know Proteus's mission well, could you give us a quick description of what are the issues that you focus on?
Social justice philanthropy in general, again, working on democracy, human rights, and peace issues. We have an interesting range of programs right now that touches on that. We have the Piper Fund, which focuses on money and politics. Very pressing issue
Indeed.
These days. Seems to only get more pressing over time. And also fair courts and independent courts. We have the Security and Rights Collaborative, which is one of the major anti-Islamophobia funding initiatives in the country. Also an absolutely core issue in this day and age. And we actually just took on a new donor collaborative called the Rights, Faith, and Democracy Collaborative, which we just announced, which is about bringing repro justice funders, LGBT funders, and progressive faith funders together to figure out ways to really change the narrative on anti-equality religious forces in the country who try to use religious exemptions to actually undermine civil rights and actually undermine the democracy, basically. And then we manage a family foundation, the Columb Foundation, that does extensive work on peace, Pentagon budget issues, and that full gamut of issues relating to civic engagement and kind of the military presence that the U.S. is and should be in a way that advances a peaceful world as opposed to detracts from a peaceful world.
I'd love to ask you a little bit about the fact that Proteus has a C4. I feel like C4s are one of those mysteries to many funders. They know they exist. They know they can be helpful, particularly around grassroots advocacy. How does Proteus use the C4?
Well, Proteus is roughly 21 years old as an organization. Proteus Action League, which is our C4, was actually founded in 2004. How we use it and how we use it effectively really depends on the issue area. But a lot of the issues that we work on need C4 dollars, directed C4 lobbying dollars, as desperately as they need C3 dollars. And in those issue areas, having the C4 gives us the opportunity to kind of go at the issue to try to achieve philanthropic and on-the-ground success on the issue with another tool at our disposal. And we work with different donors, obviously, in the C4 setting than we do in the purely private foundation C3 setting. But especially if you're using both tactics on one issue in a kind of continuum way, you really could increase the footprint of the grant making in that issue area to just lift the issue up and lifted towards success, hopefully in the social justice arena.
Thank you for watching my conversation with Paul DiDonato, and we hope you will check out all the other available features on Phil TV.